The road you were going, it was leading to destruction. The route you was taking, how you was cruising, it was no real path. And they may tell you acting funny. They may tell you why you doing that, or all that's not necessary. Are you doing too much? And it's like, really, no, I'm not. Actually, I'm not doing enough. Clearly, you're not doing enough. Hey, y'all. Welcome to episode 3. Y'all know I'm dramatic. Dramatic. Episode 3 of Be the Seed, Girl You Growing podcast. It's your girl, the host, Erinne. So excited to have y'all here. This episode is beautiful yet uncomfortable, which is why I had to start it off with a little peekaboo. I see you, baby, because we are talking about outgrowing who we used to be. Listen, I know. It's hard. It's too much. I can't do it. A lot of us can't. We have such a hard time with just outgrowing the old and accepting that new, outgrowing that comfort zone and allowing God to put us in a space that for some may be foreign, or for a lot of us it's uncomfortable, but it's beauty in that. So we will tap into that today, and it's no shade, no shame, just simply growth. So this is definitely for the girls who feel like, hey, my crowd ain't really crowding no more. My clique, we not clicking no more. Something ain't adding up. 2 + 2 is not equaling 4 anymore. It's giving 2 - 1, and I'm standing by myself. But I got God with me. So we're going to tap into that, y'all. We're going to tap into that. So y'all already know, get your journal, get your little juice, your little Kool-Aid, your lemonade, or your water. And let's go ahead and jump into this episode, because, baby, when I tell you, we're going to be digging into that past. We're going to be digging into all the little things that no longer serves us. But it's going to be great. So let's go ahead and tap into it. First things first. Man, you have to know when to recognize that growth spurt. When you no longer the same. That God is creating a new thing in you, where the things that once satisfied you, that once fed you, that once gave you what you needed, it's not good anymore. And you have to understand that growth isn't always loud. Let me say that again. Growth isn't always loud. It's often really subtle. It's really like a little thief in the night. It come, then you just wake up one day like, I don't like that no more. I'm not with that no more. And sometimes we don't notice it until we look back and we be like, dang, I really don't do what I used to do anymore. Or dang, I really don't talk to this person anymore. Or dang, I really don't even move that way. Or I don't even like that type of music. Or I don't even eat this type of food. Or I don't even drink this little drink that be drinking, that you used to always drink. You ain't with it no more. You've turned over a new leaf. You've allowed God to use you in such a way that you have no choice but to give him the glory, the honor, and all of the praise, because you know the road you were going, it was leading to destruction. The route you was taking, how you was cruising, it was no real path. So we have to take the moment to give God thanks and just honor him for allowing us to recognize our growth spurts, recognizing that we're no longer the same, that we've let go of this old wine, that we've let go of the old us, the past, that it's no longer lingering, it's no longer serving us. And it feels so good. It feels so good to walk a little different. It feels so good to talk a little different. It feels so good to move how you move without having to worry about anybody judging you, without anybody questioning you, without anyone doing anything that could possibly knock you off your tracks because you've outgrown it. And so we have to remember that sometimes growth doesn't announce itself. It just shows up when you notice certain habits don't fit anymore. I'll take one situation for example, certain music. I'm a music girl. I love a good little beat, a good little tune, a good little 1-2. And I went on this 21-day fast where I told myself, I'm gonna let go of like the little secular music. I'm not gonna listen to hip hop, all the cussing, the throw that, not gonna do it. I'm gonna lay off of it. And I went 21 days with just feeding myself with just gospel music. I'm being real, I listen to a little R&B here and there, and I still do. But I steered away from that music that didn't bring me light or life. And afterwards, after the fast, I realized that I didn't miss it. I didn't miss that old music. I didn't miss the wanting to, back it up and drop it or whatever the case may be. I didn't miss it. And it feels good to be able to find new gospel music, new gospel artists, new tunes that still feeds me in a positive way, that still talks about God. Don't get me wrong. The gospel rap, the little Christian rap, hip hop, it got me in a chokehold right now. I love it. Love it. Love the sound of it. It has all the things. I think it is great. I love the mixes. I love how, we have the people out there doing the new renditions of different songs and the mixes and all that type of stuff. I love it. Keep it up. That's great. But I no longer desire the other things. And it's okay. I don't miss it. And I don't even look after it. Getting in the car, I don't turn on the radio. A lot of times I ride in silence and don't even realize it. Something else that I realized was going to the club. I was that girl. I'm trying to go out every weekend. Especially, come on now, I went to Preview. We're going to have a good time. We're going to party. We're going to do all that. COVID, everybody was supposed to be in their own little space. We having parties. Me and my friends was definitely that group that did that. But it came a time where I outgrew it, where that no longer serves me, where I no longer found excitement in that, where I no longer desired to be in that space, where I no longer wanted to go to a club because it became so predictable. It was always the same thing, always doing the same thing. You're going to get dressed up. You're going to pregame. We're going to drive to the place or we may Uber. Get there, going to have a little section, going to have a time, might pop a bottle or two. You may smoke a little 1-2 hookah or whatever the case may be. And it was every weekend or every other weekend thing. And then I just got to the point, and honestly, it was definitely subtle where it was like, nah, I don't like clubs. I don't like being in that space. I can do a little live band, a little R&B night, something, raw and sexy or something like that, a little 1-2 with that. But that's it. I can't do standing on top of the couch. We here. I can't do that. I'm tired. Maybe I'm old. Sorry. So I can't even tell you at what point I outgrew that, but I knew that when it happened, I found peace. When it happened, I recognized the change. I recognized the things that I desired. I no longer desired it anymore. And I did pray and ask God, and I said this in my first episode, just telling God at the age of 31, like, I want to go deeper with you. I want to dive in deeper and I want to understand you more. And that was a part of it. So I will say it was somewhere in my 31 little era where I no longer desired that. I outgrew it. And so just like how I was able to outgrow, those little situations, which it was a lot of stuff that I outgrew. I know you too probably have outgrown a lot of things. And we have to just be able to recognize that. And it's literally after the fact where we like, dang, I don't like candy no more. Or I don't like being around this person no more. Or I no longer desire to chase or do whatever or do this or that, whatever it may be. And that's simply okay. So it could be the music you used to love that drains your spirit. It could be gossiping doesn't feel fun anymore. Having those girl talks where y'all just sitting there talking about people. And you kind of like, nah, I ain't with it. Maybe you feel, desiring to look at the bigger picture of situations. Spiritually, you're not satisfied. Spiritually, you're not being fed. So it puts you in a space of having to reevaluate some of the things, some areas in your life. And that's when you know God is working. That's when you know that He has you exactly where He needs you to be. That's when you know that moment of newness, that moment of being planted, that moment of blossoming, that moment of uprooting all those old things, old habits, that's when you know it has no place here. It must flee. It must flee, go back to wherever it came from because it's not of God. And that's literally how you have to look at things. One thing that I had wrote down, but yeah, it's a scripture that I wrote down. And it says, it's 1 Corinthians 13:11. When I was a child, I talked like a child. I thought like a child. I reasoned like a child. When I became a man, I put ways of childhood behind me. When I say that resonates with me so much because we all have those little childish tendencies, immature tendencies. We're not mature enough in the spirit. Then God puts us through different situations where He's allowed us to be pruned and He prick off the things that is not of Him and He groom us into who we need to be. And it's beautiful. It's so beautiful, yet uncomfortable, but it is beautiful. The next thing I want to tap into, and this it has been real hard for me, is when relationships no longer align. Sis, if you walking with God, but your circle is running in the opposite direction, take that red flag. Take that as a sign to chunk up the deuce and be gone. Just say, you know what, this was cute or whatever, but I see that this isn't working. Go ahead and have that little breakup. Go ahead and disassociate yourself, because when you know that you are in a space where you are literally hungry for God, but the people in your circle are like, you doing too much. Are they just not aligning? Y'all not equally yoked. That's when you need to go ahead and move on. It's hard to be aligned with someone who don't share the same views as you, because y'all gonna always clash. It's gonna always be something that person is gonna say that's gonna tick you off. It's always gonna be something that person does where you be like, I don't even know why I fool with her, or why I even talk to him. I don't like that he or she does that. Surprisingly, it can even be family where you just be like, nah, I don't like it. Let me go ahead and step away. And that's tough as well. And I think that's one of the toughest things, because we all go through seasons of building those meaningful relationships, having those what we feel like are divine connections. But then you start to grow and they're still here. And you steady growing and they're still here. And we still try to be that friend and kind of uplift them and like, man, come with me, or whatever the case may be. And they still here. You've outgrown it. And they may tell you acting funny. They may tell you why you doing that, or all that's not necessary. Are you doing too much? And it's like, really? No, I'm not. Actually, I'm not doing enough. Clearly, you're not doing enough. So let's go ahead and wrap this up. And when it comes to explaining that to people who no longer aligns with the things that you are doing or that's of God, honestly, you don't owe them no explanation because you've already told God yes. And that was enough. Your yes to him was enough. So you can pray and allow your prayer to be where it's like, hey, God, we all know this prayer actually. If this person's not for me, remove them. And then when you start removing them, you like, hold on, not that one. No, wait, not this one. But we have to be okay with when we say that prayer. And when we're starting to outgrow and not be aligned anymore with the people who we thought we were in sync with, we have to be okay with that, because that just means that God sees further down the line than what we do. And we never know. You may circle back. Y'all may reconnect in a different season. It's just at that moment you've outgrown them. And just allow your prayer to be where they can build their relationship with God just like what you have. Because it's important. We have to remember that. It's so important. And not everyone can go with you where God is taking you. I heard that so many times. That doesn't make them a bad person at all, actually. That just means where the things that God has for you and where he's taking you, sometimes it requires us to go by ourselves. A lot of times it requires us to go by ourselves. And other times just means that our callings aren't aligned in this moment. That just means it was a season, or better yet, a lesson that you had to learn with that particular person. Whether it's with a homegirl, homeboy, relationship, whatever the case may be, at a job, whatever. Always look for the lesson. Always ask God to reveal the lesson in those moments where you feel like where God is removing you. Because that's very important as well. And it's just like when those relationships no longer align, you got to think about a friend group where you used to fit in perfectly. But now those conversations drain you. Now those conversations where y'all used to be on the phone for 2 to 3 hours, you're on the phone for like 2 to 3 minutes. Where y'all used to always meet up to go do stuff, now it's kind of like, oh, I see you when I see you. Even with a significant other. Because it's different for everybody. And we have to be okay with that. You can release people with grace, not guilt. Jesus himself has modeled that time and time and time again. He loved the crowds, but he still had boundaries and leaned into his purpose. He loved being around his people and showing the goodness of God and, showing them who God really is, spreading the gospel. But he also had those moments where he had to step away. Let me go dip off for a little bit and pray. And that's okay. That is okay. Another thing I want to tap into. We have to remember to love the people, honor them, but don't shrink ourselves to stay comfortable. Don't feel like we have to shrink ourselves to remain a part of that crew when we know that we no longer are aligned with them. Okay, that jamming. When we no longer, feel comfortable being around them. Don't just sit there in silence. Don't just be like, oh, okay, it's going to change. It's just a right now thing. God is going to fix it. When you see that you've already outgrown that group, or that you no longer find joy, or even the whole feeling drained, you can love that person from afar. And that is okay. That is simply okay. You have to remember, I wrote this down. No shade versus protecting your peace. Growth doesn't mean being shady or arrogant. It means protecting your peace without guilt. No shade. We already know that no shade has that negative connotation, like, no shade, but I said what I said. No, it's growth. You don't have to feel guilty for outgrowing people or things. You don't have to feel guilty because God has something new for you. You don't have to feel guilty because God is wanting to show you and use you in a different light. Don't allow the enemy to use you in that way. Don't allow the enemy to try to keep you complacent and feel as if what you're doing or where God is taking you is bad, because it's not. It's beauty in it. It's amazing. As long as it is God led, that's something that you can continue to do. Sometimes people interpret your boundaries as shade, but boundaries are holy. We all know where we'll say, that person where, I don't even want to say that person. I can use myself for an example. I just really learned my boundaries, for real. My little space. If I don't want you to tap into it, you're not going to tap into it. So if I'm asked or invited or offered something and I say, no, I'm good, don't take that as like I'm trying to be all that, because I'm not. Don't take it as I think I'm better than you. Don't take it as if I'm judging you or anything like that. That's just a boundary that I'm not trying to cross. That's just a space that I'm no longer in. That's just a thing that I'm no longer doing. And my only ask is that you respect that. You be like, oh, okay, cool. You don't want to partake? Cool. You don't want to go here? Cool. Hey, I just want to extend the invite. Because what you don't want to happen is people start to bring up your past, because it's going to happen. They're going to say, man, I remember when you used to be the life of the party. I remember when you used to get down with the best of us. I remember you used to set up the whole little situation. I remember when you used to move like this. I miss that person. I don't. Because when you think back what you were doing then, you'll remember, and I'm even like taking the time to remember for myself, those were dark times. Those were times that things wasn't of God. My spirit wasn't being fed. So excuse me for not wanting to be in that space. Excuse me for not wanting to be in darkness. Excuse me for finding light. Excuse me for God revealing me to me. Thank God that I'm able to see myself in the way that he do. Thank God that he's giving me a fresh set of lens, that he's opened my heart and opened my ears and opened my eyes to new things, so that I can outgrow the areas in my life that are not of him, that doesn't add substance, that doesn't bring people closer to me so I can tell them about the goodness of God, so that I can plant that seed, so I can water that soil, so that I could tell them if God has done it for me, he can definitely do it for you. And it's okay. It's okay. It ain't no shade. It's okay to say no. Get used to that. No. Erinne, you want to do this? No. I'm good. Erinne, you want to go here? No. I'm okay. No. And no. Nope. No. For real. Get used to it. Because God he wants us to be in a space to only focus on him and surrender to him and be aligned with the things that he has for us. He don't want us to be teeter-tottering. I'm going to do this. Then I'm going to step over here. Then I know I really don't do this anymore, but I still want to be a part of the in crowd. I still want to be in the mix. I still want to know that this is okay. I still, want this group of friends, or I still want to date this type of person, or I still want to fool with this type of whoever, whatever the case may be. It's okay. Say no. Communicate it with love. Be gentle, because of course it's always about the tone. But say no, and hey, Lord, I just pray that they're able to receive it. If not, Lord, you know my heart, and I just cover them. But no, thank you. No, thank you. Sis, we don't need that permission to pivot. We have to normalize changing directions. Oh, that's good. We have to normalize changing direction. We have to be okay with saying, no, I don't do this no more. Because it can happen overnight. Your cravings for something could change in a blink of an eye. We have to normalize the idea that it's okay to let go of old versions of ourselves. I told a friend the other night, hey babe, write a letter to yourself, your past, forgiving yourself and letting it be. Let's normalize that, of changing that direction, changing that perspective, changing that whole trajectory of feeling as if, oh no, I've done this for so long that I gotta stay here. Because we don't. Or if I change, then I'm gonna lose this person. You will, and it's okay. Or if I change and stop doing this, then something bad may happen to me. God will cover you. Because though the weapon may form, it won't prosper. Remember that. It will not prosper. And one of my favorite scriptures is, of course, that Isaiah 43 and 18 and 19. Forget the former things. Do not dwell on the past. See, I am doing a new thing. When God is doing a new thing in our lives, we have to take heed to it. We have to acknowledge it. We have to be okay with it. It is something different. This is a changing direction. He is like literally if we have that fire in our belly, it's go time. We have to move when God tells us to move. We done played around too much. We done tiptoed around it too much. It's time for us to tap into it. It's time for us to get to it. And we have to normalize changing that direction. Because growth isn't always about proving anybody wrong or trying to push God onto somebody. No. You pray for that person that may be struggling with accepting the new you. You ask God to reveal himself to them so that at any moment when he visits them, when they see the change, that they're able to say, oh, I would never expected that to be, for Erinne to change like that. So let me go and ask, what got you to get to this point? What really got you sitting in front of a camera talking about God? Not Erinne, not lady in front of a camera talking about God. And for the ones who know who Lady was, she gone. Death to Lady. But yeah, not her in front of a camera talking to y'all about the goodness of God and what he's done and where he has brought me from. But I do this to show y'all how good God is. I do this to prove, not even to prove to y'all. Well, yeah, to prove to y'all how good God is. How if you just give him a yes, if you just allow yourself to be vulnerable enough in the moment to learn more about him, you'll be so surprised. It's crazy, man. It's crazy what God is doing in my life. And I just been praying and asking God, I don't want to be big-headed. I'm not in it for the glitz and glams. I'm not in it for the attention. I literally just want to have a space where I'm able to be vulnerable, open, and let other women and fellas know what it is and what it ain't, and where God has brought me from, and where God is taking me to as well, and what I've outgrown. And I've only had the power to outgrow it and the strength to outgrow it because of God. I couldn't have done this by myself. None of us can. I'm strong, but I fall short. Flesh get the best of me sometimes. And I'm honest with that. But it's a lot of areas in my life that I am proud to say that I've outgrown, that I'm okay with, that I know that it's beauty in it. And even with that, I want to leave y'all with some encouraging words. And I really want y'all to sit on this. Growth is a journey, not a destination. Let me say that again. Growth is a journey, not a destination. You're going to forever be evolving. You're going to always be growing. It's never going to be where it's like, oh, I'm at this point, I've made it, I'm perfect. No. Because then as soon as you get to that point where you feel like it's growth, you're going to want to top it off. You want to go a little bit higher. You're going to want to challenge yourself a little bit higher. You're going to pray a little bit harder for God to reveal something more that's a little bit more, heavier, grander. Another thing, you don't have to explain your growth to everybody. It was showing your fruit. And I'm learning that now. Everybody doesn't deserve an explanation. Allow my actions to speak. Allow me to literally bear the fruits of the Spirit. The things that I would in the past probably get angry about, let it roll off my back. Allow me to grow in that patience, kindness, that love, all the things. I want that to be shown to people. I don't have to give no explanation. I want you to see me. I want you to see it. The way I'm walking is different. The way that I'm talking is different. The way I move is different. The way I dress is different. And then the last thing for a little bit of encouragement, trust God's timing. Trust your process. Don't lean on your own timing. God has a plan, literally. He knows everything. We have to trust his timing and know that what he has for us is greater than our wildest dreams of what we could ever imagine. That the thing that we may feel like is crazy faith. No, it's a God thing. It's big. It's literally bigger. And we have to tap into that. We have to be okay with that. So, people, that's it for today. That's all I got. That's it. That's all. I hope that you remember and you understand that outgrowing people is fine. It ain't no shade, no shame. Not trying to play on nobody's top. But baby, I've definitely outgrown myself. Not myself. I've outgrown situations. And I think it's beautiful. It's not pride, it's progress. And I just know that what God has for not only myself, but for us is greater than what we could ever imagine. You're not wrong for wanting more. You're not wrong for wanting to grow, to be bigger, to be grander, to do things that you've never seen before. So sis, remember, fellas, you too, stay rooted, stay radiant, keep growing. On that note, peace.